Okay, we are live. Welcome everybody to the combined community engagement and recreation commission meeting. It is 6 o'clock in the evening. We will take attendance here in just a second as I get the TV on with the agenda. Wearing a few hats here this evening, so bear with me. Look at that, it's right there. Okay. So roll call. I'm here. Miss Mail.
Here.
Miss Thomas. Here. Excellent. Mr. Thompson is at a funeral, but may be joining us later. Motion to excuse Mr. Thompson. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Perfect. All right, and then roll call of Recreation Commission members. We have Ms. Mintz. Here. Mr. Nelms.
Here.
Ms. Snyder, let me know she would not be here. Ms. Moskowitz. Here. Ms. Ladipo. Mr. Brown. Mr. LaFollette is under the weather. He let me know that earlier and has updates for us when we get to that part of the agenda. And then Ms. Beer is not here. All right. So Ms. Ladipo, I did text her earlier. There was an issue with getting my emails, so hopefully she will be able to attend the next one. Julietta, and then Victor Brown. This is also his busy season, but I will follow up with him as well. And then we'll just check on Dixie to make sure she's doing okay. All right, so we are good there.
We need a motion to excuse.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do one.
Motion to excuse all, let me see, who's not here. Ladipo, Brown, LaFollette, and Beer.
And Snyder.
And Snyder, yes.
And I will second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Excellent. All right, we have the agenda here. This is very much largely what is posted on the website and what we sent out before. I added a few sub bullet points, but any additions to the agenda, anything not covered here, we can always go back and add it later. All right, motion to adopt the agenda. Do I have a second? Second. Okay.
Or second.
Perfect. And then all in favor? Perfect. Thank you. All right. And then Marie, what is your last name?
Richter, Richter.
Perfect. And then what is your street address?
6021 Hamel Avenue.
Awesome. All right, perfect. I've just got you in here I'll add you as the person's registered to address the committee, just in terms of participation.
Sure.
So we have that for the record. We have the minutes to be approved from last time. I believe I gave Eric my notes on that. Do we have any changes from the minutes before?
The date, under announcements, it's Wednesday, June 5, after we already approved to move on to Wednesdays.
Yep. Okay.
I just caught that while we were sitting here.
Wednesday, June 5. Okay, any other changes? All right, I will go ahead and make that motion to adopt the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Perfect, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Do this and then we can get the formalities out of the way and onto the fun stuff. It is June 5th. Awesome. All right, now to our agenda. Okay, so, all right, so under new business, I have a budget review and requisition process. So we will flesh this out a little bit more as we get more and more events that are kind of falling under this community engagement recreation umbrella. But we have talked about, Juneteenth is going to be really the one that kind of is our learning curve for all of this, to where we are setting, the idea behind all of this is I want to have a consistent review of what our budget is, and that's the recreation fund is the budget that I'm talking about. It's Fund 2071, if you're looking at any of the finance reports. It's just gonna show a line item of like, here's our current balance, so on and so forth. It won't have any like drilled down information. So that's what I'm looking to do here. So that each meeting, we are taking a look at what we have in our, in our purse, I guess, or in our bank account. So that way when we're working on different events, or we're looking at, where we might need to raise funds, or how we're allocating the dollars we do have, or doing debriefs of events that have just finished, we are, we're doing it in this organized fashion. And then the requisition process listed here, that is specifically having basically like a project ID for each event that we're gonna do. So like we were talking on here, like movie nights, like that's gonna be a series, but that will all be under the same project number. Like WeTHRIVE events, those would all be under the same requisition number. And that way, and those will kind of be like sub budgets that we're working through. And then this is coming up, it's timely because July is when we start to do the budget for the year ahead. And we start thinking about the framework for it. And so that way we kind of know, okay, for, these larger events, treating them individually, this is what our budget's going to look like. For WeTHRIVE on the year, this is what it looked like. And we can kind of drill down a little bit more so we know what our ask is, what our fundraising goal might be, so on and so forth. So more information on that as it is fleshed out. I just wanted to get it on everybody's radar. And we will go from there. Right now, the three biggest expenses we've had so far is there was a reimbursement for WeTHRIVE for the end of one of the classes, like a fruit platter or something. There was the liquor license for Juneteenth, that was a big expense, and then the yoga instructor fee for the summer yoga series. Those are the big expenses. And then we've had some monies come in from Juneteenth vendor registrations. We finally got the payment on the from the Council on Aging for the Tai Chi workshop that ended earlier this year. And then there was some other, I think those were the two main influxes of money. So that's kind of just a 50,000 foot overview of kind of the budget as it stands now. But going forward, you will have like tangible reports that you'll see that we can talk through as we move forward. Any questions on that? Ultimately, this is probably going to be something that whoever, like as the Recreation Commission is flushed out, this will be a function of the Rec Commission, because a lot of these things that we're talking about, they're kind of in that blurred space at the moment. And then really truly community engagement would have like a project ID or a requisition number for the things that we're doing, like mainly office supplies or whatever for town halls that we would put on or things like that. Or, newsletter or whatever. But by and large, all of the bulk of all of the expenses are going to fall under recreation, because that's where the events will fall under. So, okay. Next up is the July 4th parade. So that will be taking place on July 4th. I think it's a Thursday this year. So Captain Reed is working on coordinating all of the local like fire departments and police departments to get trucks in the parade and things like that. Really, anybody who wants to participate in the parade is welcome. They just need to line up at the specified spot of Inglewood and LaSantaville, and just follow, be the next one in line. But that being said, we need to figure out a grand marshal for the parade. And we do have the use, right, of Elaine's baby blue Barracuda convertible for the Grand Marshal.
I was thinking maybe, maybe the eldest person in Gulf Manor.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I don't know who that is now, but I think that would be a nice tribute to them in the length of time that they've been here. You know, like the oldest living
Residents.
Yeah.
resident.
Who live here the longest. essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, not live in the
And I
earth the
moved there last
longest,
week.
but live in the
Yeah.
longest.
Okay, so clarify it.
Yeah,
Lived
okay.
the longest or lived in Gulf
Lived
Manor
in the
the
longest,
longest?
Yeah, lived in Gulf Manor the longest.
Okay, okay.
Ron
Yes.
and Sharon might have no idea who that is. I don't know who it is.
Yeah. We could probably look on like, well, I mean, it would, I was gonna say you could probably look on the auditor's website, but that
Probably
would
the
just,
house that, but how long the person's lived in the area.
yeah,
Probably you can start there.
yeah. Okay, all right,
That's just an idea, but I think that
That's
would be
fine,
nice
yeah.
to
yeah.
recognize them.
It's gonna be that person every year if we do that.
Then we'll do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year, the newest
Ooh.
That's,
whether it's a baby or it's a new
Aw.
person, because that could be cute.
Our neighbors, like, they basically refer somebody because of they do community service or
Did a good
they've
thing.
done
that's
Yeah.
what's been in
something
the past, yeah.
like, yes,
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it can change every year and it could be, like, the criteria doesn't have to be
Yeah,
the exact same.
That'd be good to put on the agenda for just food for thought for a year, because next year, you're gonna have to come up with it again.
Yeah. Yeah,
So maybe, just, kind of pre-think it before next year, so you're gonna have some ideas.
yeah, this
So we don't
is,
have to think of it every year.
Right.
yeah, we are definitely, Leslie and I have this conversation all the time, that with all of these things that we are doing, getting it to a point to where we are automating it, and then we are, like, this year, we're going to be doing like double time, like working, kind of two things at one time. But eventually we'll get to that sweet spot where we are working, 4, 5, 6 months in advance, depending on the event, to where it's not like, okay, it's next week and, oh my gosh, okay, we gotta, we gotta catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get there. Okay, so I will see if I can reach out to Ron or Sharon.
It might be Sharon and her sister, who knows?
Yeah.
I think there's somebody else.
Oh, okay, I don't know. I know it's not Ron.
No.
I know
think
when
it's
Ron
not
moved in.
Yeah.
No, I know when he moved in, because I used to walk my dog.
Yeah.
Is that consecutive?
Oh, yeah, because you left and came back. I guess I
A number
did
of
too.
times.
Yeah, you're out of the pool.
Yeah.
No, you may not be. You could drive your car and you could be the.
Yeah. We also have the opportunity for like the Whitus family as well. We did the proclamation for
That
them.
would be a good idea.
That would be a
I'm sorry,
good,
what'd you say?
the Whitus, Jim Whitus's family.
Ask his wife to do it.
Yeah. I was just having a plan B in case.
She
For
said
the
that.
Grand Marshal,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think for this year is probably not enough time, but like next year to tie it in with some type of, like, hey, can you get a chance to be a Grand Marshal if you fundraise, and it could be a good fundraiser, right?
Yeah.
Whoever raises the most money or something like that gets to be a Grand Marshal.
Okay.
That's a great way of getting more, like, I like to tie.
Well, the rich
everything
people will just start donating.
Yeah, I just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then that's great, we want rich
Yeah.
people. We want them to part their money, for our community.
Yeah.
That they live in,
Yeah.
and that way, there's things for the kid, we can go for the funds for, like you said, basketball,
Yeah.
all the other things, for youth, and to fund some of a lot of these other events too.
Yeah. Is there somebody in the door, like at the door? Cause I heard somebody like yelling, "Excuse me," or something.
President.
Come on in. Hello.
You can have a seat at the
You can have-
table.
Yeah, if you will.
Come on.
Graduated.
Is he with you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Are you here for the community engagement meeting?
Yes, ma'am. No.
Okay. Yeah, the office closed at 5. But they'll be back open tomorrow at, I believe, 9. Let me,
Oh, no, you did use it in the hallway, man. Let me see here.
Is there nobody working? Is there animals?
it's at, yeah,
Usually
it's
the
after
police
hours.
department.
It's like a few of them in the hallway. Three,
A few people?
yeah, 3 guys.
Well, you can wait for the officers, I guess.
Are there officers here? Which one?
Oh, I didn't see any. Oh, yeah.
They're usually, they normally can see you on those cameras.
They're on the beat.
Somebody, they leave somebody in the building.
Campbell's number. Yeah.
These are just two police cars, right? Is it just two police cars?
No, it's not police cars.
There's more than two. Oh.
You still talking about me? Did you come to one different time? Yoga starts this week. I saw it. I might bring my granddaughter again, the little one. Yeah, remember she loved that. I think she came in Juneteenth, but she didn't do her job.
Hi, this is Charlotte Brewer. We are doing the community engagement meeting at the moment in Chambers. And there are a couple of people in the lobby that were looking to speak to us.
I'll be at the next Juneteenth.
Awesome, thank you so much.
I'll be there.
All right, bye-bye. All right,
I'll be at the front page.
police officers are going to go take care of it. Or at least assist. Not,
Not like, yeah.
yeah, are going to go assist.
They'll take
Okay,
care of it.
yes,
Who answered? You recognize the name?
I did not. I called Officer Matthews. Somebody else picked up. All right, back on track. Did you have something specific that you wanted to address the committee with, or did you just want to participate in the discussion? Perfect. What is your name?
Consider Michelle.
Michelle, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. She is over in the drive.
And what is your last name?
Blair.
Blair, perfect. All right, awesome. Okay, we were just going through, we were talking about the July 4th parade. I think we are square on that for now, right? So either the longest GM resident, or as a backup, perhaps the Whitus family.
Now, what did they do? I'm sorry.
So Jim Whitus was a firefighter for the village who passed away suddenly last year.
Oh,
And
that's
so
a
we-
good idea. We should probably do that one.
Okay.
I'm scratching the other one because,
Okay.
well,
Or a
because
veteran or something.
you have that one opportunity, you know, not
Right.
that one opportunity, but they can move out. You don't know what their resources are at this point,
Yeah.
since that happened, so.
Okay.
But you don't know what Ron will say either.
Yeah.
Just real quick, those kids wanted to get in the gym to play basketball. So the police officer is checking to see, I didn't know they had let.
No,
They're not-
I didn't know that they, yeah.
They used to, when my kids were little, they used to play with the firemen all the time.
Yeah,
They used
Because
to
it's like
participate.
workout equipment in there now, like you don't even have access to it.
That's,
yeah, it's blocked.
like you said, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Okay. All right, so we'll flip flop
Well, we
these.
talked earlier about the basketball courts
Okay.
And about how the police aren't really engaged with the community very
Yeah,
much.
not anymore, they're not.
And that's why he was saying, oh, that sounds like a good idea, because that's what we want them to do, is be
Yeah.
engaged with them.
Mhm.
But I guess they were,
They used to play football and everything, but.
that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so these next 4 items on the agenda, the BYO pool party, field day, movie nights, and fall concert, those can kind of be combined and addressed as one sort of for the time being. So these are all events that have kind of popped up over the past few weeks of potential events for us to have in the park over the summer and into the fall. So part of it is that, I mean, Mel, these are a lot of your ideas. Do you want to take the?
I'll talk about the first three.
Sure.
So these were inspired, kind of related to Juneteenth. So the village pulled a liquor license for both the Juneteenth and the 4th of July. Turns out for not much more money, they could pull a perpetual license as opposed to 2 licenses for 2 events. So they pulled this license. It's technically a 90-day license, and we have it in hand already. So Juneteenth is scheduled for June 14th, and I think the license ends August 13th. So we're gonna try our best to take advantage of those 60 days in hopes to basically beer sales, like fundraising. That's just the idea, we're floating around. And that's just try to come up with like many ideas, like many events, quote unquote, and opportunities just primarily to sell beer to offset the cost of the liquor license, but also fundraise for rec. So I think a lower hanging fruit ideally is these movie nights. There is a projector and screen floating around the neighborhood that we are trying to borrow. And one idea is maybe 8 p.m. every Saturday night, like clockwork, play a family-friendly movie where everybody knows that if I come to the park at 8 p.m., provided decent weather, I can see my neighbors and just watch this movie, sell beer and popcorn at the concession stand, maybe $5. So that's not a lot of planning. Hopefully if we get this, like once we figure out how to work it, just play a movie and then one person, 2 people just sell beer and popcorn, $5. Like anybody adult shows up, $5, got it. Would be one idea.
Would you have to buy movie rights to play movies?
I don't know, I would assume that only if you actually were charging to see the movie,
Okay.
is what I assume.
DVDs or something.
Right,
Yeah.
that definitely crossed my
Netflix
mind.
account, but
Right.
DVDs.
Yeah, that crossed my mind, and just in my head, I was like, if you charge to see the movie, you would probably have to. But the idea is that the movie would be free.
It's a free movie night, but then concessions are for sale.
Right, and Sharon was even saying, what is the name of that foods place right there on Section? Atlantic Foods, maybe? That, they historically have like donated bags of chips.
That's right, yeah. I
So
remember
send
that.
an in-kind letter to them asking for chips and then say chips in a can of beer or chips in a can of pop.
Yeah.
I think there's all
And even
kosher
the
too.
popcorn and the beer, it could be a $5 suggested donation.
Yeah, exactly, yep.
Yeah.
And I think all that would be kosher. And let me see, I've connected to a few local beer breweries. Some of them are kosher, some of them are not. Some of them only bulk package, meaning they will sell you cans, and others will only sell you kegs. But Mad Tree is one that does both. So I would think we should try to partner with them and buy a bunch of cans from Mad Tree.
Yeah.
Because they come in cans and they're kosher.
Yeah.
And
then we'd also have like non-alcoholic options to
Yeah,
it. So like we are
Yeah,
both trying to take advantage of this liquor license and the fundraising opportunities
yeah,
it would afford
absolutely,
us.
yeah.
But then also, we don't want to be exclusionary to people who don't drink or we don't want these to be marketed as a drinking
Yeah, no,
event.
it's a
Whereas
family-friendly
these
event,
are, like, concessions are available, including soda, chips, candy, wine, beer,
Thank
whatever.
you for being more PC.
Maybe it's like $3 for soda and popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$5 for beer
Yeah.
or wine. I don't know if
Yeah.
you have wine, but-
Yeah, and so I did put.
I think it's a
wine.
great idea to also have, if you're having beer, have a non-alcoholic beer
Yeah.
available too, because there's so many good ones on the market now.
Yeah.
A lot of people drink them now.
Yeah, and we've talked perhaps maybe, not sure about the feasibility for this year, but having access to a distributor that could get us, a variety or something along those lines, but, yeah. And I'd put concession stand on here, like, as its own bullet point on the item list, just for, if we are going through the process of doing all of this work for movie nights, and while we have this license, like, what is that process to have something year round, to where if we are doing, if we do a bingo night in the hall, like we have talked about, or if we do a game night just for recreation, like, we can have, this space in the kitchen indoors, and it's not just, the stuff that we're doing in the park, regardless of whether we have, alcohol for sale or not. It's still stuff that we can provide, candy at a pretty, or candy, food, snacks, that kind of thing.
Right, whatever's left over can go to the next one.
Yeah. And does it make sense for the village to explore getting like the tax exempt Costco membership or, stuff like that, or the vendors that we have locally utilizing this too.
Having canned beer might be better because if you don't know how much they sell, because if you buy a thing of tap,
Right, yeah, you
you can't save it.
You can store it for a short amount of time, but not for very long.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so that covers the movie nights,
And Field day,
field
we'll
day.
call it Field Day as opposed to Beer Olympics, just after
Yes.
what you just said. But that was inspired by a neighbor who suggested Beer Olympics. And I'm thinking maybe like a Sunday, because the Sabbath is recognized on Saturday.
Yep.
And more importantly, Dave Williker of the Cincinnati Circus Company yesterday donated 35 bikes,
Yeah.
brand new bikes. Like, they're all in the bay. And that would be an opportunity like to have like a recreation centered day. I've already talked to WeTHRIVE, about getting involved with that and bringing like, what do you call it? Physically fit centered
Physical activity
Activities.
and nutrition-centered
activities.
Come on in.
But we can kind of, yeah, come on.
Recreational.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, come on in. Pull up
And
a chair anywhere you like.
so we can think of different activities like potato sack races, kickball, three-legged races, wheelbarrow races,
You want to do a
cornhole
cornhole
tournament.
Yeah.
Um,
And having like, you can get medals and like
Oh, yeah,
have
so-
a,
yeah,
like
that'd
have
be
a
fun,
photo
yeah.
op. Like how cool would that be? And I know that there was,
Right there.
yeah, right? Like, and I know that there was just a neighborhood, I saw it on Facebook that did like a whole WeTHRIVE day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so perhaps we can kind
Yeah,
of play off
okay.
of that where we are inviting people, like here are all of these resources.
Yeah.
And we have bikes and we figure out how we want to
We gotta,
distribute
we're gonna
those.
talk about how to distribute those bikes.
Yeah.
They do have them in all sizes, variety of colors. I haven't seen them yet. When I finally found them,
Maybe
don't see they have
academics,
like the
you
bike.
know.
I just have pictures of them, plenty of
Maybe
pictures of
one
them.
likes like- But I'm thinking,
Some of them
to
helmets.
help, yeah, and academically, they,
Bring a
read the,
report card or something.
or read like books the whole summer and get those little things they put in. I don't know, just think of something to encourage children and not just give it.
Yeah, maybe it's like a lottery system.
So I was thinking lottery, but somebody's gotta lose, and it's just like, but maybe earn,
Well, like,
something
we
to
only
do to
have-
earn more tickets.
Yeah, or like you only have, like you only give out as many tickets as we have bikes.
Okay.
To where like somebody's not holding a ticket and then they lose,
Okay.
And it's just like whoever's name is chosen first
Oh,
gets
the
their first
bid.
selection of the bike and then so I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay, so how do you decide who gets a, yeah, so those are things we'll have
That's
to
what we
talk
need to
about.
figure out.
So where are the bikes coming from? Sorry, I know I'm late.
No, you're
That's
fine. Dave Williker's, it's a circus right there across the street from next to the park.
Yeah.
I didn't ask any questions beyond that.
Okay, so, if we're looking to get more bikes, can we team up with a place that does distribute bikes for free?
Yeah.
Because Mobo is, an organization that distributes bikes for free and kids can come and, actually work on their bikes there. It's not in this
Is this the guy we
neighborhood.
were just talking about?
I
But
feel
it's,
like
it's
Okay.
actually over North Side, so.
Yes.
I think it's the same guy.
But they still do like community events all over the city, so that way we can have the bikes that we already have and then additional bikes, and then whoever didn't get one could get linked up with
Yeah,
Mobo and still be
Yeah.
able to receive a bike.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
There
And I
might be
think-
more bikes coming too. Apparently Dave Williker has a bunch of bikes and he actually just can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
He's offered maybe, I heard the number was 10 floating around to Crossroads Church, and if they don't accept it, we might get even 10 more bikes. But I
Yeah.
think they counted
Okay.
39 yesterday.
And I think tied with that.
I mean, they're
we
not all
have-
brand new at
Yeah.
I think they're all brand new.
The ones
With
at
tags.
Mobo are.
Oh,
not
no,
brand
yeah,
new,
yeah.
But they're really nice.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
like
checked
at
for
Mobo.
safety and all that, yeah.
And they can actually learn about fixing their bikes.
Right, yep.
And the people will come here and do
Yep.
demonstrations.
They did
I
that
think he
last year.
came that last
He
year.
came last year, yeah.
My bikes is a lot.
Well, I don't know if he was here, but somebody was
Most kids
here
already have
fixing the
a bike.
bikes.
I would assume.
Yes.
Yeah, there was somebody here for
Yeah, OC75 had like a bicycle repair and like that person was
They do
inundated.
have
Like
some
they were,
training
their
wheels
posted
on
hours
and-
were like, I don't know, 12 to 2. And like the updates that you would see were just like, it's, you know, he's moved offside and now it's like, he was here till 8. Is that what you-
Put it right there
Yeah,
in
so
the-
like just,
Okay.
like there's the appetite for it, but I think if we bring that back and we have, okay, you can bring your bike to be repaired if you would like, or, you know, pieces, whatever. I think that's something that could be a huge component of it, and having Mogo come as well.
Yeah.
We just need to start thinking, like dates when we would want to do this.
I have
I
one
wanna
in
think
mind.
about safety,
Yeah,
because I don't want 20 bikes in the street when I'm driving. And kids they don't know bike safety. So I think bike safety has to be tied into this, you know, why you put on a helmet, or before you release bikes. I think
Yeah.
the responsible thing would be to teach children
They get like a handout.
bike safety.
Or something, yeah.
Some
I think that
way,
there's somebody that, I'm sure there's somebody available somewhere in the city of Cincinnati in our community that teaches very specifically bike safety.
yeah.
And we can probably have them come. I'm sure their calendar isn't like overflowing with people.
well,
that
it just,
need
I'm
them
just
to
saying,
do
let's tie it all
demonstrations.
together.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll have to be like a piece of paper, because obviously not all the parents will be able to come to some thing about bike safety
Yeah.
presentation, so there'll be.
If they want to bike, they'll come.
That's fair too.
Yeah, if that's.
If we figure
that
out-
has to be part of it, yeah.
If we figure out what the structure is, I could definitely see it kind of being like, we have a couple of opportunities for them to come to a bike safety class. And then, you know, based off of that, they get a something, or a voucher, or certificate, a something. And then on the field day, that is when we do the big
Yeah.
giveaway. But you've done this work like at your convenience with, you know, at the times that it's offered, to then earn that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I am proposing either Sunday, August 3rd, or the 10th, just because it happens before August 13th, and it could be the end of summer type something.
When does school go back to session?
August
August
14th.
something.
The 14th.
The 14th? Okay.
So we were saying August 3rd or the 10th?
Yeah, I'm proposing that just because it comes before the 13th, which is when the liquor license expires.
Oh, I
You're not
gotcha.
saying, you're not recommending that for the bikes, right? Because that's the end of the summer. They
Yeah,
probably-
this whole WeTHRIVE Rec Day or whatever.
They probably want to ride those bikes all summer.
Oh, okay, then, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That's,
It's
I mean,
like
that's
July.
fine too, that just gives you less time to plan it as well.
Well, what about if it's, they give it, what about if they give them out at Juneteenth?
So, we thought about that, but
'Cause that
like
could
all
be
the
one
kids,
of events
all the
at
kids
Juneteenth.
won't be at, like, long story short, the Jewish kids won't be at Juneteenth, that's when the Sabbath is there. So we want all the kids in the neighborhood to have access to winning the bike.
Oh, okay.
So we would.
So we could do it for the 4th of July. That's an idea too. Since the 4th of July is on a Thursday this year.
I'm also thinking planning time. So we
You want more time to plan?
Can I ask you about the Sabbath? So is it that, because I thought on the Sabbath they're not allowed to work, but they can go and do fun things.
We have our, I want to say our resident Jew, that sounds so bad, but I'm not the PC one.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, there's like synagogue time, you know, so that like,
That's usually like early,
there's
early in the
like
day.
prayers in temple, and then, like usually like a family dinner that happens Friday night, and then, so we don't work, but we also don't like travel or use cell phones or writing, and so like things like that would make it difficult to like.
So your
On
days
that-
available are
This is
Sunday
event
through
on Saturday,
Thursday?
right?
Those are your days available, Sunday through Thursday, typically?
Yeah, from sundown Friday night till sundown Saturday.
And so that's why I'm suggesting movie nights, like Saturday nights, like after sun goes down.
Which is pretty late.
It is pretty late.
But it's like 8 p.m.?
No, like in the summer, it's like.
Feel like
9:30.
Oh.
But movie nights have to kind of be after the sun goes down anyways, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at a lot of younger kids aren't gonna
Right.
still be up to that.
It's also an option too, that if the stuff in the park does not work out, we could always still open up the community hall on Saturday nights
Okay.
and show them. We do
Inside.
have, and that will eliminate the issues that we were having with getting a projector and locating the screen. And it's in here, we just have the doors open, we have the concessions right here. It's just, there's less of that wiggle room for like kids who want to go like run around.
Well,
It's
if
more
we
of a
don't have to wait till the
space.
sun goes down, we could just do it on Sunday, and then make it earlier in the day.
How do you see the movie?
Well, we're saying bring it inside instead of doing it
inside.
outside.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
projector in the community
Oh,
hall here,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it would be so fun to be outside.
It would.
I know.
I know.
Maybe a mix of both.
Yeah.
Every other week, do like one inside.
Or
one
Saturday and a
outside.
Sunday,
Yeah.
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 I mean, if we're not
Instead of
limited,
it's like, it's something else outside,
Yeah.
like board game night.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if
Yeah.
it rains, instead of doing the movies outside, we board
Do
games
the movie
inside.
inside
So
with
we have
games, yeah.
our puzzle, we talked about puzzle, we talked
Yep.
about bingo, we talked about board
There's
games,
all kinds of-
cards, there's
yeah.
all kind of ideas.
It's really just an opportunity, like the movie is just it's just that little like lure to get, to like
Right.
build community and get people together.
Yeah.
And like, people are gonna do whatever they wanna do, like, if you're not gonna if you don't want to watch the movie, like we still encourage people to come down and, bring puzzles or bring whatever you wanna do and play
Yeah.
and do whatever in the park.
Yeah.
But it's just that like, we have this thing going on in the background, and we also have food, and just come see who's here on Saturday. Like, if you don't have any other plans, come to the park on Saturday and link up with your neighbors,
Yeah.
like that.
It could be like picnic dinner in the park or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I like something scheduled on the same kind of day and time regularly.
Yes.
If we can, just
Yes.
because I can expect something going on for,
Yep.
Yeah.
granted, it's not that much time now, but just set up a pattern so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if we're saying like, come at 7:00 and a movie would start at 9, and you would at least have people from, 7 to 9 that may not ever get to the point of seeing the movie, but they've come down and we've
Yeah.
got we've got games out, we've got tables set up, especially if we spread out those picnic tables like more throughout the park, it encourages more. That way we're not all congregating on that one space.
Okay. And the BYOB pool party will be the last. It sounds corny, but it looks so fun. So everybody basically gets a kiddie pool and takes it to the park. And everybody has their own pool.
Okay, here you are. Here's
Yeah,
the
and,
inner pool.
and the fire department will fill it up with water.
Oh, that's great.
It's super corny, but it's like you see the pictures of it and everybody is just chilling in their own pool. Like you got a buddy next to you.
It's just so
right?
silly. It is just so silly, and it might be,
Are you gonna? Are we?
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah,
Right?
it really is a thing. Like I've never heard of it until like this year. But they're popular. Yeah, it's a thing now.
On cowboy pools, they make the ones out of the tin or metal.
Oh, yeah.
There's all kinds of companies, they're super popular,
Yeah.
that have these like kitty round.
Yeah.
They're like hip.
Yeah,
We
it's like an inflatable pool.
Yeah, but they make them like for adults as well.
Yeah.
and stuff,
Yeah, we shared the idea with our 15-year-old, and it actually got a chuckle out of them. We're like, okay, we're on the right track. Because it didn't get like a loud eye roll where like the eyes just went in the back of the head. We're like, okay, all right, I think we're gonna run with it.
Yeah.
And so also with the Juneteenth events, I can connect like for both the field day and the pool party, like a single food vendor. I think I can pull in a food vendor
Mhm.
for each of those.
Like a food truck or something.
Probably not a truck, but yeah, a food vendor, yeah. And I mean, it can be a truck. Trucks can be tricky because sometimes they want like a minimum, like they want a guarantee that you
Yeah.
can get them $300 and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
guarantee them. And if you don't get them that, you owe them that difference.
Right.
We also have a resident in the village who does, she's opening a storefront and she does charcuterie boards.
Yeah.
And so like your point of like the picnic in the park, that might be an opportunity. Like if she does a small like individual, like, I don't know, I'm literally just putting her on the spot in a public meeting, so it's fine.
Raising tables.
Yeah, or like like an individual, like you pre-order in advance. She maybe she makes a couple extra for sale the day of, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's an individual. I just ordered one. It was $36. It was horrible.
Oh.
I ordered it for a kid, and I thought when I walked in it was going to be amazing,
yeah.
and it was horrible. I mean, the way she sliced everything. I mean, nobody would slice it like that for a child.
Yeah.
And so I'll never go back to them again. I'm sure they do amazing jobs on big platters, but and this is a business. I won't tell you the business, but
It's not
No,
the one that
sometimes you
it's not a
no,
banner. Okay.
sometimes you need kind
Okay,
of a
make
visual.
very clear. Like, that's what it felt like it was.
Yeah, she's at the business owner, but she's
Yeah.
connected to her.
What would you do at the party?
The
Charcuterie
grazing
boards.
table.
Yeah,
Or she could be where people basically go up to her stand and then she makes it for them there, like they say, okay, I
like
want,
make your
Yeah,
own.
I want
Yeah.
this cheese, I want this meat. or,
Yeah.
you know, like-
Or those vegetables, cause
It's
I
pretty
get
easy to-
vegetables.
Yeah.
With some cheese, cause this person was
Right.
vegetarian.
So those are some of the ideas that are kind of in the hopper that are coming up. Are we like, how do we feel about them? Do we, any feedback, comments, concerns?
I think they sound good. I mean, I think, like, you know, if any of these, for budget reason wise or something, like it could turn, like it can also be potluck where people bring stuff.
Yeah.
Where I used to live, they did all summer, once a month, they did ice cream socials where, it's really, really inexpensive. So basically the way it works is you can sponsor to have one for your block.
Yeah.
So they're all the same day. So basically it's trying to get one person from each block.
Yep.
To sponsor it. But sponsoring basically means that they're the ones that are going to be scooping it out and serving it.
Yeah.
But the community from the budget buys the ice cream.
Yeah.
And then people can also donate for the ice cream too. But it's really inexpensive. And
Yeah.
it's a great way to get people on the block, sitting out on their porches, getting in the street.
So you can go to block and get as many ice cream cones as you
And you
can.
can sit, yeah.
That's
Maybe
what
go to
this
this
is.
block
Maybe
and get
more
your
flavor.
flavor.
Yeah.
You go to this block if you want
Yeah.
chocolate. Just kidding.
So
I
you
like
have
that.
3 tickets, strawberry, vanilla, and strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. Three tickets, and you go this block, this block, this block.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea, and it's a much smaller scale than doing like a full-on block party, which is what we have talked about in the past. And so I think part of where we are right now is that we want to do all the things at once, and we have to scale it. Like we have to make sure that it's scalable based off of the number of volunteers that we have, the number of, of interest of residents that the work is spread out amongst, because
Right.
that's been our downfall
Yeah, it could
in
be
the
like,
past.
say, for the summer, it could be like one block per week. And then people from other blocks can come over to that block
Yeah,
and get ice cream and meet other neighbors and stuff like that.
That's a really cool idea.
Really inexpensive.
I love that idea.
Everybody loves
You like
ice
that?
cream.
Yeah.
You can
That's
also
a
do it
cool
at the end of
idea.
summer, right before
Ice
the
cream and
summer.
sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Summer, hurrah.
Yeah, I like that too, yeah.
Yeah, it could be part of like a back to school event or something, but yeah.
So, yeah, the police department sometimes does like a safety day. That's when what's the bike place you just mentioned? That's when they
Oh,
have
Mobo.
Yeah.
Mobo. So that could be the ice cream.
Yeah.
Some of that too, to give people time to plan.
Yeah.
Melody,
like-
are you saying all vendors, like, cause I've been to a lot of events,
Mhm.
they ask the vendor, they're interested in making money. So you said if we don't get enough people, you have to end up paying the vendors?
That's what
For
she wants
specifically
to
for a food truck,
Uh-huh,
not all the time, but some of these food trucks
Okay.
require like a minimum.
okay,
And so, yeah, it's fun for us if I can invite 3 or 4 food trucks because one, it keeps the
Right.
lines down, everybody has variety and options.
right,
But you're taking the same number of people now splitting it 4 ways, and so
Right.
each food truck, because they have higher overhead compared to like a street vendor.
okay.
So I can pull in I say a bunch. Our events aren't that big, so maybe 3 or
Right.
4 street vendors, and they, I think, are satisfied. Or 3 or 4 food trucks with the same amount of people that we can serve would probably not be.
Yeah.
So I'm just, like, I can probably satisfy 1 food truck, and
Okay.
that's less variety for us, and it's still a risk. And it just depends on the food truck and the arrangement and all that, but.
Okay.
So I'm not like anti them, but to be transparent, it's like, I can't guarantee you, like,
Right.
we might be able to pull 200 people, like, that's it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, we're not the Taste of Cincinnati.
And never, yeah.
Not yet.
I mean, we could even, budget wise, whatever, but, ordering pizzas and selling them per slice.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's a nice, I don't know where we did this once, but the nice thing about that is that you could order pizzas and get it delivered within 30 minutes. So if you're gonna be running out, like, oh my God, we're gonna be running out, let me order 2 more pizzas. And then you don't have to,
That's a good idea,
and then you sell them for $5 a piece, and you're basically spending like $10 for a whole pizza. And, you probably get 10 pieces of pizza, so you're making a big profit on pizza.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
So the hard ask
Would
now,
that
if you guys
pizza
like
be
this
from
idea.
Roses?
TBD. Not sure.
Well, if you buy, like, you
Pizza
know,
Hut,
you
something
call a
cheap.
pizza place and say, look, we're gonna be ordering, you know, at least 30 pizzas or something, or maybe not, or 20, you know, could we get a big discount?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's a
They do
catering,
that
like
for
a catering.
communities.
And you might even be able to get in
Yeah.
kind and all kind of stuff too, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you for or against the roses?
Pizza places, Papa John's.
Okay.
Yeah, gotja.
I just favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
have Godfather's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Their pizza's really good.
Yeah,
And it's good.
yeah. That's where that discount's gonna come in.
The
Yeah.
pizza part don't.
But you might be surprised, they might do like in kind and all kind of things.
There's
So
probably,
there,
There's probably restaurant owners in Baltimore Manor that might want to, you know, because they're residents, they might be donating.
Yeah.
What's the one?
we've got a connection in with, or a potential connection in with like the Pleasant Ridge Business Association, to where like you have Goodfellas, you have a couple of other of those businesses that we could perhaps like connect with a little and figure out what some options are.
Yeah,
Demetrios, that's their name, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so the other, I do think that since we are at the beginning of June, we do need to kind of look at a calendar and get some dates on the calendar
That's
for a lot of these.
And people are gonna have to volunteer to lead these efforts and decide now, if we only meet once a month.
Yeah, so we've got to figure that out. The last thing that I have on here is the fall concert. And so that one is largely planned. We'll figure out, so let me give you the backstory on it. So we've had a concert the past 2 years. We've had the Second Wind Band. And they are lovely. They are out of our budget for this year. They're out of our budget. However, we have secured a band. It is the Kokoto Comeback. And their rate is significantly more affordable than what, they are an excellent band. They go to joshlawsonmusic.com. And it's one of the bands that he plays in. And it's bluesy, it's folksy. They do covers as well as original music. They're releasing a new album in a few weeks. That it will be on all streaming services. But they are going to do a 3-hour show for us with a break in between sets. So we've got that coming up on, it's a Saturday, October 5th from 6 to 10 p.m. And so we'll start getting marketing out for that and then figuring out if we want to build that up a little bit more with, more, we were trying to get a second band to come with it, to make it like a day of music, but the other band was already booked. So we will be in front of it for next year to get bands on the docket. And again, this is where like that budgeting is going to come into play. So as we are doing all of this work this year to, put on events while fundraising, while setting the infrastructure for the rec commission, it is all this big umbrella of stuff that we're trying to do so that we are really positioning ourselves. Like we're doing all the grunt work this year so that, as we stroll into 2025, we are not flying by the seat of our pants as much as we are right now. But that's just kind of how it is with having a new council, new committees, re-engaged focus, that kind of thing.
So what's baseline cost for a band? What would you consider a good price for, or what's affordable for golf band for a band?
So the band for that we have booked, they're playing 3 hours for $500. Whereas in the past, I believe the Second Wind Band was between $4,000 and $5,000. It
36, maybe.
was it 36?
Something like that.
It was
Cheap,
85.
but-
Yeah, it was about,
Yeah, they are.
yeah, it was about
That's what
10. So the concert that we did last year that included the drone show, it was,
Yeah, like totally bad,
yeah, that whole event, that whole evening, that was a $10,000 event. And we actually borrowed from the reserve for that event. So that was a lot of money for one event. Whereas, and we'll come to this a little bit later in the agenda, where we are going to ask council to essentially dig into the reserve a little bit, and that amount to be determined still. But it's so that we can put on all of these events and then some, while also having a potential help with marketing, which will drive that, the attendance, it will drive concessions, like all of it is very intertwined. And so that's where we have to kind of pinch our pennies this year so that we can kind of build that foundation for going a little bit bigger next year. Does that make sense?
Do they know a marketing consultant? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll come back to that in
Yeah,
the
'cause,
marketing.
yeah.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. What is your name?
I'm Julietta.
Julietta. Yes, Julietta. Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
I've seen you around and I heard the name, but.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yes.
There we go.
Um,
I'm Zach.
what were you gonna say?
I just had a question about the visibility of our budget, like where
Yes.
do we, as a committee or as a, like, board, where do we look at the budget how do we access the budget? And is that visible to us? So that we can really give better insight? I can't say, hey, I recommend this band, or here's some pizzas, without knowing like what our price ranges look like and what our budget is actually giving.
Yes,
So-
that is an excellent question. So we are working on being a lot more transparent with all of that. So, and my answer is a little multifold. So we do have a finance update that happens in our regular council meetings as well as with the finance committee. That being said, the things that we are talking about in terms of what band is too expensive or what is affordable, what is not, that really is kind of glossed over in all of those reports. So that's why we are making a more concerted effort. And it's the budget review and requisition process. So we are doing, we're gonna have like requisition numbers that are basically project management budgets for each of these events that we're going to be putting on. So like the movie night, so that we can have data, so that we can track, what is the success or failure of,
So
XYZ
that's
project.
specific to the recreational.
Yes, and that is new, so I don't have so I'll have to do work to get some sort of foundation information for that. Similar to what we've done for like the strategic plan, where we're going through minutes and things like that. So it may just be that we're working from a blank slate.
So I'm very new to all of this, like very new here. Hi, everybody. And so I have not been to, I've been to like the idea of what might be eventually a community board meeting, like at the park and stuff like that. But I haven't been to any of our official council meetings.
Yeah.
So the budgets and like the reviews are available at those meetings if you attend those.
Yes, and they are also,
Okay,
They're also online.
online, okay,
Yeah, so
so,
what I will say is in the appropriations, the community engagement board rec, you can clarify, Charlotte, was appropriated $2,000, but that's $2,000 of magic money that's not actually raised. So we have to find it, and that's what we're talking about with like Juneteenth, some of these different events to like actually raise the $2,000 instead of asking for it out of the general fund, which is our reserve.
Yeah.
Which we still can do, but that's,
it would be good to have an additional little action, it's always good to have a little
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
1,000%.
yeah, like,
But
You
it's
know,
theoretical.
yeah. And I've got a little bit later in the agenda, some other opportunities for fundraising beyond just what we are doing within Golf Manor. But yes, it is our goal, and this will fall more on the recreation committee or the recreation commission, because a lot of this isn't technically community engagement, like that is more the communications piece. What we are talking about, and that's just the nature of how this agenda unfolded, is that it is very event heavy because we're going into summer and we want to do a bunch of things. And so largely this will, once the recreation commission is set up and running on their own, like this will be a function of them. But then like the requisition process, so like for project management, like community engagement will have a sleeve of that overall recreation fund, but it's for, as we're doing a town hall and we need, markers or name tags or, something like that, we'll have that like line item on, within the recreation budget. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because we are, because right now, if you look in any of the finance packets, you'll just see the recreation fund, it's 2071, and you'll just see a balance. Like it fluctuates, but for a while it was sitting at like $650. We've had money come in from the vendor registration fees for Juneteenth. We've had some money come in from WeTHRIVE, because we've had council on aging. They will pay us for, if we have a number of people complete their classes, they will pay us $50 a person. And so those would be funds that like we would turn over for WeTHRIVE to provide, snacks for the next thing, or we build it up and like, that's how we pay for the yoga instructor or what have you. And then we have some of this stuff that we're kind of operating a budget within a budget. So it's starting to get to a point, it's a good problem to
It sounds
have.
like it's mostly fun, like we have to come up with our own.
Yeah,
basically.
it's really self-funded.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So we're
And I
trying
don't know if
to,
you guys have done, something we could add even to one of these events or separate things like a silent auction. You can be at one of the events to raise money.
yeah,
Sometimes like some really cool ideas that I've seen are like baskets at some of the events. Those are pretty
Like
cool,
raffles.
like the raffle baskets, and those can be,
Yeah.
like, depending upon like businesses or things that are like local. Like you said, we do have some network that is willing to donate, or
yeah.
Pleasant Ridge Business District or whatever. you said.
Exactly, and I think that'll be a big thing for the rec commission to kind of do a concerted effort of like sending those asks out into the world of like, in kind, it may not have to be event specific, but just, what can we do and where can we plug that into what we know is going on?
Yeah.
So, hello, pull up a chair somewhere.
I mean, how many houses are in Gulf Manor? I mean, 1,000 or?
3,600?
Yeah, I know.
That's our,
Yeah.
it's 60.
About 1,200 houses. 1,200 houses.
Yeah. Wow, that's
I
a
got
lot.
a question.
Yeah,
About movie night.
yeah.
For movie night, would y'all provide the popcorn or they have to bring it on their own? Like, how
We
does,
sell it,
how the
we
food?
sell it.
Oh,
We'd have it at the concession stand.
okay, that's.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, Mel and I were talking about trying to source or seeing if if anybody in the neighborhood has one or has a connection to one or a popcorn maker. Or looking on Facebook Marketplace. We saw one for $100. So like we can always just go to Marketplace and
That's bad off of Marketplace, because we need our own.
I don't.
I'm writing a check for 25. I want our own popcorn maker.
Yeah, but that's our plan. So
It's small and it's not very big.
yeah. So all of that, and that kind of goes into the things we need to figure out for the concession stand. But before we move away from event topics and move on to the other things, we do need to set some dates. So let's look at those real quick. I will pull out, have I sent out the link to everybody for this Google Calendar? I'm also gonna post it online too, either through our Facebook page, because quite honestly, this is gonna be more up to date than what the calendar on the website is until that gets fixed. This is updated as we have stuff come up, like you'll see this as we set the dates and I put it on here. So I will, if you would like me to send you a link to be able to view the calendar, like maybe send a piece of paper around or something, and then I can add you to it. But I should have gotten all the commissioners and council and committee members already, but if I've missed you, let me know. Anyway,
So this is just for Gulf Manor.
this is just Golf Manor. So I created a Google Calendar. It is just for Golf Manor events and meetings. I tried to incorporate like Jewish holidays on here, federal holidays, anytime that the offices are closed, that kind of thing. I tried to make it as inclusive as possible, but I am human and I have likely missed something.
It's a lot of stuff. I'm pleased to see the 513 late bus on. I keep that.
It is in August, August 21st, it's a
That's
Wednesday.
exciting.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Give our residents some relief.
yes. All right, so we've got, any particulars, so movie nights, why don't we start there?
So the question is, do you want it Saturdays or do you want it Sundays?
We have to make sure we can do it indoors.
Saturdays is better.
Yeah.
Do we want to do it every Saturday? Can we commit
Somebody
to
wants to
everything?
take that lead and.
I like kids. I'm cool with kids. I'm good with kids. I can commit to a Saturday more than anything. For how long, like a whole month?
We can, why don't we start with every other Saturday?
I said, well,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah, like,
Opposite days, okay. So why don't we,
That's actually a good idea
I have
too.
a question for movie night. How will people know about the movie night? Y'all
So
will
we
put
will-
out flowers, not flowers, but flyers.
Flyers.
we'll do, we'll post it on our social media. So like for the yoga series, what we did on Facebook is we went and created, I know not everybody is on Facebook, but for the time being, that's where it's at the moment. So they'll have access, so people can get, I'll publicize that people can have access to this calendar and be able to view it that way. We set up Facebook events, we'll list it on our website. We will list it, I'm not gonna address the app because the app will just point you back to the website. So right now, I'm not using that as a viable marketing tool at the moment because it takes too much time for right now.
How do we get in touch with your generation? What's your recommendation?
Origin.
You.
TikTok.
People your
Yeah,
age.
how would you, if you weren't sitting in this meeting, how would we tell you
Exactly.
that we're having movie nights?
No. But that, if y'all didn't like tell us,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be coming.
Would you see banners? Like, would banners get through or, yeah?
Banners would.
Okay.
Do you guys she's asking like, are you guys on Facebook? Are you on Instagram?
I don't be on social media.
Well,
That's, that's,
I ain't into
Word of
social
mouth
media
is another
stuff.
way.
I would say this, just because I've been seeing, Graceland's been hot lately with the children. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't have to call police a couple times. But actually being outside in the community, not saying walk the whole community, but there is kids just out in the street these days. Hey, you ain't doing nothing, take this. Read this, we giving you popcorn.
yeah.
But I'm serious, like,
Yeah.
I'm serious, like, if you give me something, print something, I'm happy, because literally, there's kids,
The boots on the
literally.
ground approach is
So-
pretty good.
We'll come back to that in a few moments, when we get to the marketing consultants, because there's a couple of ideas there.
You know, I'll do my blogs and like, if somebody else wants to do their blog.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You know,
That's what we've
like,
been relying on.
So let's go ahead and so we'll come back to that in just a second, because it's gonna be the same conversation for each of these events, like, it comes back to that same point, how do we market it, how do we tell people, how is this? How do we get it out
We
there?
don't have everyone's email address yet, but.
Yeah, so let's figure out dates. So we've talked about doing it the opposite schedule of the yoga series, which that starts on Saturday, the 8th. So we would do these every other week, until, mhm. And then we can get different, we can kind of coordinate amongst the team to be able to say like, okay, I can be here for this one, or I'm out of town for this one, can somebody run point on this? Like, we can get it dialed in and kind of, work as a team together on it. So,
And we should know pretty early on if it doesn't work.
yeah, because we also need time to
Because you
get,
can add more dates, you can see how June goes or July goes, and then maybe if it goes well, maybe it goes all through September or something.
yeah,
Because,
like what if we did,
especially if you're with the nice weather out, doing it. If it's a fundraiser and it's raising money,
yeah,
then it could go all through September if it works out well.
yeah. So why don't we say for now, every other Saturday from now until the end of August, July?
Liquor license
Yeah,
expires.
it's the middle of June, or middle of August, sorry.
So the Saturday after Juneteenth, is that a yoga day or is that an off yoga day?
It's off yoga day.
You wanna just start at that? 15th?
You can promote it at Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if it's a family event, I think parents will still go even if there isn't alcohol there. So you could still sell soda, popcorn, candy once the liquor license expires. If it's making money, you just switch out the beer for something that you can sell.
Yeah, maybe we can do a whiteboard and put everything on the whiteboard so people can take a snapshot picture of it, like if they're not on social media. So all the stuff we can just kind of write on the whiteboard. This is June, this is July, this is August, these are dates.
yeah,
And they can take
Yeah.
a snapshot.
And then if we get that out, like we have our
a board
email
like that,
list.
cause it's portable. We can do
Yeah.
that outside.
Or on Facebook, you can have a post saying, please go to our website to see the dates.
But see, a lot of people aren't on social media.
And
I'm just
that
talking
is
about the
actually
people that
one
are
of
on
We can
social
also-
media.
Too, is having just a general, like, one pager
Mhm.
that has, these are the dates for the summer,
Yeah, we were
June,
gonna put
July.
It can be on the
August,
flyer that we,
Yeah.
Or
anytime
the
the
flyer,
flyer that we
whatever,
just put.
sometimes just that one pager,
Yeah.
the
I
old
agree,
school way
yeah.
is kinda nice to
Like
have.
Saturday, 6/27,
Yeah.
Saturday, 8/22.
Yes. And then you can use that virtually, or digitally.
Yeah.
And you can also have like a physical hand.
Yeah, we can have
that
we can have the handout, but then we can also have a QR code on
For more
it.
detailed info, go to the website.
Yep.
Or go to our app.
Yep.
And the
Okay.
flyers is to
Yeah,
get them
it's
to
having
go look
multiple,
online or something.
outlets.
We won't be able to write, all the details of every event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to confirm, we have a way to,
I like that
Will
as
be
well.
inside? and really outside too.
We definitely have a way to show it inside. Yes,
We know how wonderful that screen is.
yes, but we will test it. We will test it.
So,
Yeah, your test to be for the first date.
Yeah. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, so I will test it after my meeting.
question.
Yes,
So, every series starting in June, after Juneteenth,
every other Saturday
after Juneteenth.
after Juneteenth. And then we will end it on the 10th,
Don't you have a swap thing in between there somewhere?
the Buy Nothing swap. Yes, we'll come back to that.
Oh, but the movies are at
That's a
the
daytime.
evening.
Yeah, but it's gonna be on one of them
It
Saturdays.
might be one of,
But it's in the evening.
Yeah,
I
it's-
don't think it should.
Yeah, they won't overlap.
Yeah,
But we might
But it's
have,
on the Yelp page,
Well,
you know?
yeah.
So whatever that Saturday is, we won't have the movie night.
We'll look, we
We
will
don't
look.
want things to
It's
overlap,
not a
or
sale, it's a swap.
I think move one of them now.
Yeah.
One
Okay,
of them.
so-
about moving that anyway.
Yes, we do need to move, we need to look at those dates, and I've got that on here to look at in a second. Okay, so we will end it on, what did we say, August 10th? So we've got it every other weekend. We literally have something every weekend for residents, which I think is a really cool thing to see. And a lot of work to do.
they just gotta know.
They just gotta know, and they gotta come. Yeah, so we've got that ending on the 10th. Okay, so that is done. What about, the field day / WeTHRIVE day?
Yeah, I propose those on Saturdays. I meant to propose them on Sundays. I looked at my calendar wrong, but
We can do that on a Sunday. I think that'd be a good idea.
maybe the Sunday right after that last, like bookend the movie nights with Juneteenth and this rec day.
Yeah.
Do you wanna have
You
it
wanna have
during
something
the
Friday,
liquor
Saturday,
license,
Sunday?
during the liquor license period?
It'll still be it should still be, right? No? Let me see.
It expires the 14th.
I think you had the 13th, so have it the 11th then? Was it for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday the 11th.
Was it?
That's a lot of events.
Yeah.
Like, so can I ask one more question? Because again,
Yeah, go for it.
Who is volunteering to do all of these events? Is it just those of us who are in this room?
So I can collect beer. I mean, all I gotta do is get it, and we could just have cans of beer.
Yeah.
And then sit
For
down and,
us to drink?
no, for us to sell.
Oh,
So, I mean, these are actually some of the easier events.
Bring your own.
I mean, you can do that. I can get,
Well, a lot of these I do is the yoga
Wait,
teacher.
one at a time, sorry.
so that would be, for the movie nights, it's just having somebody here selecting a movie. We send out letters for in-kind donations or popcorn, or somebody go to Costco and all, so that's really just gathering snacks. So the volunteers that we would need there are just to sell the
Yeah,
snacks and beer that I know I can get kind of easily.
I will volunteer myself for this Saturday movie thing, because I just love children.
Okay.
I don't have enough, thank God. But
Right.
necessarily, I do want to do them, because Saturdays work for me.
Yeah.
But
So you can kind of take the lead on this thing, and we'll give it.
And you
I
do
wanna-
need to,
yeah.
you do need to like make sure parents just don't drop off their kids.
Yes,
Because you guys don't want to be liable. Because parents
yeah, that's
will
what I was
do
gonna
that.
ask. Who oversees it? Is it?
Well, parents will be coming, with their
All of
kids.
them don't come. No,
Yeah.
I've seen so many kids, they,
That's what I mean, you
Yeah.
cannot do that, you cannot.
Yeah, it is family
There's-
movie night,
Yeah.
like if,
bring
have to
you
make
and
sure
your
the parents
kids.
there.
how do you
Yeah.
keep them from not dropping out their kids?
Well,
Liquor.
you,
Okay, we do need to focus a little bit, like, we
I
have
say,
so much time to get
Are
through.
we really gonna be liable? Because I say, listen, I'd rather them be in here looking at a movie than breaking windows in the community.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we gotta look at both sides, both ends of the spectrum. The police
The
department
computer
is
was right there too, yeah.
Yeah,
So we need to put an age range on it.
And I think that's a good idea, like,
Don't drop
yes.
off 3-year-olds.
Yeah, like, figuring out what that age is, if it's something that, like, you know, if the police department are already going to have increased staffing on the weekends, then let's talk to the chief to see if perhaps, like, I mean, they're literally right across the hall. Like, you know, we can have that help here to make sure that we are not in over our skis. So for right now, like, having these on the calendar for now, we do have some things to iron out. We kind of see how the first couple go along, and then from there, like, we are just continuously evaluating. Like, do we need to streamline this? Do we need to do it twice a month versus every other week? Like, we'll check in, like, between now and our next meeting, we will have had essentially 2 of these movie nights. And so in July, for our meeting, we will check in and say, okay, where do we need to make adjustments?
So you're planning on doing it on the inside versus outside? We have enough seating and all that?
So we have a ton of chairs in there. We can set the tables up however we want to, whether it's, you know, just desk style or cute, whatever. And if people wanted to bring, you know, like, their own lawn chairs and sit in there, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. So long as we're not breaking fire code, of course. But we also, the idea is for us to be able to get it, we want to be able to do this sooner rather than later. With our outdoor projector, there is a holdup in being able to get access to that projector. So right now in the interim, we are able to use the projector that's in here.
How about if I know a couple people would want, what's his name, next door? What you call them, what's his name, the teachers?
Oh, the church?
Yeah, they have one, and then my neighbor has a big gigantic projector.
The
So,
issue,
now we
they
get
were
back to
saying
where
with
we
outside is
had-
that if you have it outside,
Uh-huh.
you have to wait till it's dark.
Yeah.
What time does it normally get
And
dark? I don't
that's
know.
what we were, we
About
thought,
nine.
but
Movie
it's too,
night
they were
inside
saying,
and
they don't wanna
outside.
start it at 9, it's too late.
We would pick one or the
Oh.
other location. Yeah, we're not gonna
If
have
it's
full
inside,
list.
it's
Cause then the movie's not over till 11 at night, and then
No.
a
I mean,
lot of
ideally, we're gonna-
kids, I guess, go to bed at 9.
Ideally, we would
Yeah,
have,
like, all the movies I go out there.
yeah, that's what we were just talking about, of having like a.
No, I know, but I think
Yeah,
they're thinking
Okay.
like,
I say twice
a lot of parents.
I was actually-
When you made that comment, it made me think.
Every other way. I know, that's.
They
I say twice a month.
Let's say maybe it's good to have it.
All right,
later.
I'm gonna bring this back in, so we're addressing these all at one time.
Let's just see.
All right, wait. We're gonna address this all at one time. So the questions that we have on the tables for the movie nights, do we wanna do every other week or just select twice a month? Let's see how that shakes out on the calendar as it stands now. So for June, we would have a movie night on the 15th and the 29th. So that's twice.
Most of them.
For July, we've got it twice. And then for August, we've got it once because then it's gonna end. We won't do that second
Yeah, cause
date
you won't have the.
because we won't have the license anymore.
Yeah,
So it shakes out that it ends up being twice a month. It just also ends up being every other week.
yeah.
I think that's nice, just for the start out, get the kids, involved.
Yep.
I just agree with twice a month. The consistency is one thing.
Yep.
And so when you have get somebody the week that we're not, I say,
Well, they'll have a calendar thing that's.
well, without the parents, like in today's time, just from what I've experienced last couple of weeks, if we have kids that's 10 to 14, 15 running the streets, right? And they think they're adults.
Till midnight.
And that's fine with me. But at this point, if me giving them the flyer from, I talk to them all the time, me giving them the flyer, yeah, I'm gonna come, sure, I'll do whatever. It's like, okay, great, because y'all think y'all grown, they'll walk in and sit down and have a movie, as long as we provide popcorn and snacks. They'll have a great time just talking and bringing all their friends with them. And so it gives us a sense of advertisement to go back out in the streets. Yes, for the parents, we can do the online Facebook thing, but these kids are outside more than the parents are
That's what I'm
outside.
saying, we can give a flyer, but you're saying you want it every week because
Every
they'll
other week.
remember it?
Every other week.
Yeah, and that's how
yeah.
it ends up being
Yeah,
with
Yeah,
this,
and then that way the week before, maybe a day before,
No, I
2 days
think we said we were
before.
gonna do like a calendar flyer where we give every door a calendar of the events, and on the little flyer, it'll say like, for detailed information about these events, go to our website.
Or text call.
I think
I
there
don't-
was a, I'm sorry.
No,
There
I'd say
was
just call
a,
me.
there was a suggestion about a QR code, and I think that's a really good idea, like a QR code to our website, and then like a QR code to the calendar.
Yep.
So you could just boop, boop, and you have it on your flyer,
exactly,
You know,
and then you have
that's-
it saved.
yeah, QR code is solid.
Can you make the
Okay.
the calendar public as opposed to just available through email?
Oh, yeah, so what so I can like give a link, so I can put a link on, like I can have it embedded into our website, but then I can also have a link to say, hey, you wanna know what's going on and you're not on social media, I can have a link to it from our website or from whatever it is.
And we can QR code that link.
Yes, yes,
And another idea is the QR code can also be put onto, the wood poles in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
So that-
Yeah, we've talked about doing like yard signs too. I don't know that we can tack onto the phone poles. But we can do like yard signs to where it's like, you know, check out what we have going on, here's the QR code for it.
Just like
Great
a holy
So-
QR code and say, movie night, yard sale, I think,
Yeah.
tree link, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I'm gonna play around with the website a little bit more, coming up.
Yeah.
The other concern that I heard going around was was kids, are we like having an age range where, like, what are the parameters for kids can be here unattended, provided that we are able to get, that we are able to have some sort of coverage from the police department. What is that age range that we are thinking of, that we are okay them being here unattended, but anybody younger than X amount, they have to be with an adult? And it can't be an 18-year-old that's a part of the,
Well, at least there's
Like, what are we
an
thinking?
adult that vouches for that child. If it's not their child, they're bringing other kids with them, and they're vouching for those
yeah,
kids. Because their parents said, okay, I'm gonna let,
yeah, that if there's an issue, I know that I can go to this adult
yeah,
and,
that adult is gonna be watching my kids.
yeah,
Because
I think
otherwise,
that's necessary, like,
okay,
yeah,
like an adult has to be present with a group of kids,
Mhm.
or
Like a sign
they
up
have
sheet.
to have a responsible adult with them.
yeah,
Yeah, like,
That's
with
it.
the sign up sheet, like, this is my name, I'm responsible for these four.
yeah.
Just to be on the safe side,
Well, yeah,
because
'cause-
things happen.
Yeah, you need to have that, because otherwise it opens you up to a lot of liability. If you're gonna say, I'm gonna watch these kids.
Yeah.
You don't want that, because.
and like a max of
If-
of
if
kids
the kid
per
goes
adult or
missing,
something?
If the kid gets molested, if something, it's just, that
Yeah.
ends up being on you guys, and you don't want that.
So what are we thinking in terms of age range, like, for,
12,
What's like
The movie,
I don't know, like, county-wise, what's the legal age that a kid is allowed to stay home by themselves? I would go by that age.
Oh, it depends, not in Ohio, it depends
Yeah.
on the maturity of the child. They don't have those.
Again, I think if
They have no
we're
reason
saying
to.
that each child needs to be supervised by an adult,
uh-huh,
whether it's their parent or an adult that they've come with, even if it's a group, I don't necessarily think we need to put an age on it. I think we say family movie night, all kids must be supervised by an adult.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we need age. I think saying that you can drop your kid off is asking for a problem in some way, shape, or form. Like,
And don't
I'm not
forget,
watching the Lionsgate.
this is fundraising,
and if it's
the
a
beer
movie
and
that's-
everything is for adults. So
Yeah.
there's, we
Yeah.
expect and we want adults to
Attend, yeah.
attend too.
so
Yeah.
anybody, so we're just gonna say blanket, like, anybody under the age of 18 must be accompanied by an adult.
I think
I mean,
that's solid,
yeah.
I think that's.
What
Yeah.
age groups are you trying to get here to come? Like, what, you're not gonna play a Disney movie for
Everyone.
teenagers, right?
Everyone, anyone,
So, but I'm just saying, teenagers aren't gonna come to Disney movies, so
What type of
Yeah.
movie?
what type of movie, because a lot of
Yeah.
parents, they're gonna be like, oh, this type of movie is not for my 3-year-old, so we'll just sit this one out.
yeah.
that's fine.
PG.
I'm thinking
So
like.
like the goodies? If it's
Yeah,
like,
Goonies, Gremlins, E.T.
Yeah, then that's gonna
things
be-
of that nature.
then little kids aren't gonna come anyway, they're not, the parents are gonna bring their little kids to that.
Might.
There's gonna be at least age 8 and up, I would think, I don't know.
I mean, I totally bring my kids to see.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do.
The other thing too,
The
the other thing too with the movie
They
is
can,
that,
I don't know if you want teenagers to come, you need to have something that they're gonna watch.
yeah, so the thing, and we can maybe market like 1 or 2 of them specifically for teenagers, and that might be a thing that we are learning from and doing in advance for next year. But as we're doing all of this on the fly right now, like,
Yeah.
because the things that we really haven't, like, we've talked about, but we haven't looked into is the licensing stuff. Which one of our rec commissioners who is homesick right now, messaged and said that we do have to have it, we do have to have the licensing in good order to be able to play it for public viewing, regardless of whether we are charging admission or not. So it might be that these first couple of things are game nights. And these are just, set times where come to the community hall, come to the park. We will have whatever set up with different games, like just come and play.
If we have somebody's personal like DVD, we have a license?
Yeah, because we're doing it for public consumption.
Ooh, that's new.
That is new, 'cause
Yeah.
you could have people
Not
come to your
that.
house and watch.
But that's not for public, it's
different.
private.
Oh,
You invite
okay.
anyone,
Yeah.
Because if you draw it, like we're selling
Community,
concessions,
yeah.
so we're profiting off of the draw of the movie. And like I can
Yeah.
see the,
It's too much.
Because they see it as
Okay.
like,
Even
it's
as
like
a private,
an actual movie.
even though we're a nonprofit entity.
Girl, shut up.
It's like that for
So
like,
license might be free, you just gotta ask.
I'm a teacher and it's like that with teachers too, like,
We need to ask some people that.
things
some of
that you
those
show
communities
for
that do the
teaching,
movie nights.
purposes.
Yeah.
They do it at Washington Park.
Okay, yeah.
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 Like if I print material, like copyright issues, things like that, it's
Yeah.
part of under copyright. Like, if I
Yeah.
print
All right.
So she
material
said she's gonna ask somebody that does the outside or
to
the
study,
inside.
they cannot take those materials home with them.
Right.
Copies, because then
so
other people can see them.
We will look
That's
into-
copyright.
yeah, we're gonna look into the licensing rights, but like we said, we have like plan A, B, C, and D of where for these first couple, if we don't have the licensing rights, we do game nights, literally the whole thing that we're trying to do is just to get people to the park when the weather is nice, to build community, whether it's over a movie or a game, come buy some concessions,
We can just
have a few
celebrate the
drinks.
sunset.
Totally, just come and hang out, just come and hang out, come and get to know your neighbors. And that's all we're trying to do is just create that space to where if you don't have plans, come down, you can come to the park, on these dates and hang out with some like-minded people.
Like I said, it could be like the picnic dinner. Like, bring your
Exactly.
dinner.
Exactly.
Bring your picnic.
They used to have this
Um,
thing called Pass the Ox, I think, at like Rebel downtown, but it's like where all you do is you have a speaker and people basically, it's like a playlist.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like, when people bring a record, if they have like bring your record day to the bar,
yeah.
it's kind of like that, but you just come up with like a list of songs that you want to hear, and like everybody gets together, and then there's one person that's playing music.
Yeah.
And people just give their lists, and then they play all the different songs.
That's a cool idea.
So that could even be like
Yeah, you like
chill,
have that in the
like,
background. and-
Sunday
yeah.
thing to just.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, right, yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
jukebox, but free.
And it's truly community driven, which is exactly what we were trying to do. I love that idea.
Now, what about showing a sporting event? Is that allowed to show a game that's on?
We've done that before. We've done like a tailgate party. We do it usually in October where we do like a trunk or treat with the tailgate and we show the Bengals game.
I never knew that.
We did it last year. I don't know any other
Yeah.
times we've done it, yeah.
That's actually a good idea, especially when it comes to fall.
But keep these ideas coming because this is good. Okay, so we've got the movie nights on the calendar. I want to be respectful of everybody's time and we still have a small little chunk of our agenda to get through. Okay, so movie nights, field day and WeTHRIVE day. What are we thinking for those? You said the 10th
I was
or
thinking
the
that
11th?
Saturday, 11th.
Okay,
If we're gonna do, and I'm also we
Cannot be
cannot
on
call
that.
it WeTHRIVE Day, so it needs to be like a your family day, community day. something.
Okay.
If it's sold, it can't, I thought you said it couldn't be on a flyer together.
Yeah, we can't advertise it as WeTHRIVE on flyers in May if they're selling out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was just thought they couldn't be
Or
next
could
to
they
each
sell
other.
alcohol if it's not advertised?
Yes,
Oh,
as
okay.
long as we're not calling it WeTHRIVE Day, we can still be a part of it.
Right,
We just
yeah.
cannot advertise it as something that it is
So your name can be
Yeah,
on
we
it.
cannot
Got it, okay.
use our name.
And I think that's where, I think that's a good point, where I think, yes, we have this liquor license that we do want to take advantage of and we want to have concessions for, but I don't want it to seem like we are just boozing it up over here
Yeah.
in Gulf Manor. I want to make sure that we are not excluding people who don't drink or giving the impression that this is adults only when we are truly trying to bring in families, but also we have this option for, we have this available in our concessions.
I would just call it a field day then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can even not even, you can just see like, you can just say like, we'll have a variety of drinks available to
Yeah.
purchase.
For purchase.
We don't have to say what drinks they are or
Perfect.
anything like that.
All right, so I'm just gonna,
And I wanna ask about the movie night, were you thinking of, is this where you'll be selling beer at the movie nights?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, another reason why kids should be supervised, because then
yeah, we will
they'll
have,
be sneaking
we'll
beers
have
to each
ID.
other.
We'll have ID checks.
All the kids.
No, we'll have ID checks. We will have the
Yes.
parameters in place that we're doing for
We have a whole
Juneteenth.
concession stand and we can buy.
Yeah, where they have to have a ticket to get the beer, like,
Okay.
it is monitored.
Maybe have a little gym.
We're not screwing this up.
No.
Okay, so for Family Day, I will put on, do we want to set a time right now? Or do we want to get maybe talk about this in July instead of, have a save the date kind of thing?
Yeah, let's save it.
Okay, because then that still gives us about 45 days to get timing out to people. Okay. Okay, so that is set. The pool party, we were looking to do that maybe more around Memorial Day. No, that just passed. Labor Day. Where am I? Who are you all?
September for Labor Day. September.
September.
First week of second week of September.
Yeah, because it'll be quite hot.
Yeah.
Last.
So what are we thinking? I want to leave.
Another Sunday event.
I would encourage them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So the 1st of September is Sunday.
Sunday fun day.
Oh, we didn't.
Yeah.
It's
For
been
anyone
Labor
that
Day,
cares,
too.
that is football.
Oh. Okay,
Every Sunday for long, it starts Sunday,
that's September 1st.
Preseason starts in August.
If we get the TV, if we get the projector.
and that all falls together.
That would be so
Yeah.
And
what-
we can do it at the amphitheater.
And the caterer I have is barbecue caterer.
I think we get, I have no idea. I don't think it's been posted yet.
Ryan something.
I think that's worthwhile.
I get confused about them.
It's up and down.
Is it?
I love that so much.
The pool party, yeah.
Yeah.
Alabama,
Yeah, and have the game going, yeah.
Alabama Q in Clifton.
Okay,
Try their food first.
okay.
I've tried everything on the menu.
I've got to just.
I've never been
So why
there.
don't we set that for,
Just queue and want to queue.
Who's just cooking because it's more close to it.
oh, okay.
Just cooking is on Paddock's right across from my church.
Okay, so I'm gonna take off the football game. I mean, the season will have started, but the Bengals will not be playing that day. Okay. So what if we did that from like,
And so this one's outside the liquor license.
yeah, but that could be a BYO,
Even
BYO
better.
B and B.
Even better, even better.
Cool.
Then that's nothing to plan other than setting the date and getting that the fire hose there.
Yes. Labor Day weekend.
I was serious when I asked that question.
Okay. Put it on there for now. Always adjust the time as the date gets closer.
That would
Okay.
be BYO everything.
You said the fire department fills and stuff?
Yes, so we have one spigot in the, by the concession stand, that's just like your regular garden hose. If we have any more than a pool, it will be too much. So we found out that Waterworks will actually attach a meter to the fire hydrant so that they know how much to charge us for. But then we could use the fire hoses that we have in storage from the old fire department days to fill the pools
What
from
about
Pedro.
dumping them?
That's a good question. Where do you put the water when you're done with the
You're
church?
yoga.
No,
At least yoga's
well,
not that
about
big.
mine.
But
No,
then
it is
just put all the
inside,
water
so,
all in the park.
We will be watering the lawn.
Wait, they're not charging for water?
Most gonna charge for sewer, they'll charge for water.
Yeah.
No, those pools are little.
No, you gotta train it.
Is it in the park?
You're gonna charge us for water out of our fire hydrant?
I'm not worried about that right now. We'll figure that out
Water's not
later.
free. Every house here in Alabama pays for water.
So that was that.
It's part of your utility bills.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they don't know what that bill looks like. But I just didn't know.
But it won't be expensive because this is cold water. It's not heated. It's not gonna be heated, so that's.
We probably won't charge for sewer either.
The big cost is hot water.
I just wanna keep budget down.
All right, okay, so we've got those dates. We've got the fall concert, which is on October 5th. Yep, I'm calling it the fall concert. We can call it something else as we get it branded, but for now, it's on the calendar as the band name. Concession stand, we have talked about. It really just to tie a bow on that, getting a process established, getting our sources for the products that we're gonna sell, depending on what it might be, whether we have a rotation of, different food vendors, food trucks, what have you. But for the basics like chips or candy and soda and things like that, having, whether it's a Costco membership or another source. Exactly. I've got, yeah. All right. While we are in the calendar, I'm gonna skip a small amount ahead here to the buy nothing swap. So we do have the buy nothing swaps currently scheduled for the last weekend in June, right? Yes, no? Do I have it there? Maybe I didn't put it on there. I don't know.
Which date was it? I think it is a date on it.
It is the 28th, 29th, and 30th. However, there is a date conflict with that. So we do need to look at alternative dates. Mainly unless somebody else would like to run it. I am out of town that weekend and I forgot that I was out of town. So unless we have a volunteer, I am more than happy to move the dates and I will run it. And that is totally fine. So, looking at that,
I don't know how to do it.
it's all good. It is all good.
Yeah.
I am not
I have to
expecting.
see it and understand it before I
Yeah.
volunteer for it.
No, I am totally fine with that. And it is truly my error and I will admit that I have booked over this. I have forgotten that I have booked this trip multiple times and I have double booked myself
I feel so good now.
too many times to count. So,
No problem.
yeah.
I think you can put on a yoga weekend. They're 30 minutes. I mean, that's a whole day. We're leaving a whole day for yoga. A lot of people aren't gonna even come to yoga. I think you can use any of those yoga weekends.
I think-
Is that the stuff is set up in there might not be space for the yoga mat.
Yeah, I would rather book over a movie night because that we can, if we do it like the 13th,
Roll the yoga mat up. I'm not.
Yeah,
but we're gonna have a ton of tables set up around in there. So like,
Or swap stuff.
yeah, it's not gonna be conducive for a class.
Oh, it's gonna be
I know, what I'm saying is, the yoga class is 30 minutes.
It's an hour, but even still,
Okay. Okay, I don't see it as a conflict.
yeah, it is 100% a conflict. Like we cannot have two overlapping events in that hall at the same time. It's not fair to either.
They gotta be inside the swamp.
Yeah, because it's gonna be, like, that way we can lock it up overnight, because it's gonna be over a couple of days.
You can bring your, 3 days? Oh, okay.
Yoga could be outside if you wanted to that day. It'll be a weekend in July.
You're
Yeah,
locking up a whole weekend for 1 hour. That's all.
yeah, I gotcha.
If it's just that one day, we can be outside one of
Yeah, I think that would be, I mean, it's gonna be July 4th weekend, so do we feel that that is a good weekend to have the swap? Like, do we think people will be in town to have it?
That's a good question.
It would be July, hold on. Sorry,
Sorry.
so many conversations.
Problem.
Yeah, I know, this is great, I love this, I just wanna make sure that we're all that we're all hearing the same thing. So potentially talking about moving it just one weekend later to July 5th, 6th, and 7th.
That's right after.
It is right after the holiday, yeah. Or if we wanted to do it that following weekend of the 12th, 13th, and 14th. If we think residents will be around, I know people travel for the 4th of July holiday. What are the thoughts? What are the?
I suggest not the weekend of Fourth of July. I feel like a lot of people are just out of town,
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. It's-
okay,
or in town and just busy.
yeah, that's fair. So why don't we do it the following weekend? Yeah? Good with that?
12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yep. Okay, so we will get that date change out there. For those who are new or have not heard this before, the brief synopsis is so over the course of those 3 days, we will have set hours. We have parameters on the Facebook event already of what is allowable, what is not allowable. It's basically, it's an extension of the Buy Nothing project where no money is changing hands. People can bring the things that they do not want. You leave them here. There are, again, parameters of like, you must be able to carry it in and out. I don't want your old refrigerators that don't work. I don't want pieces of furniture, like nothing like that. This is, anything that you would put on Buy Nothing that is, carryable by
Yeah,
one
clothes or
person.
like small housewares.
Correct.
So
Or
all
like,
the leftovers, who's gonna gather that?
so we are
Who's gonna come back
coordinating.
and get it?
No.
Okay.
So we are coordinating with different organizations throughout the county to be able to come and pick them up. So like St. Vincent de Paul or Salvation Army or Goodwill or other organizations like the, other things like that. Yeah.
Said that.
Yeah. Or like, and we'll have people here to like kind of screen, like we'll have volunteers that can kind of screen for things that maybe should not be out for other people to take that truly are garbage. Perfect. Well, we'll have a sign up genius for it, so it'll be posted out there. And then really it's just a way, again, come build community, come shop for things, come drop stuff off. I've got several boxes in my basement just waiting to be moved into here. And we'll do a call out for, bags for people so that, as you shop, you come and find things, you have bags to go and take stuff home with. And just whatever works.
Will the bags like have Gauntlet's logo?
Oh, no, they'll just be Kroger bags.
Kroger
When I just
bags.
joined the Buy Nothing group.
I really did.
Some community, I don't know who, somewhere around here, there's a Buy Nothing group on
Yeah.
Facebook that I just joined.
Yeah, there's a couple overlapping pages.
Yeah, there definitely has to be somebody to like go through this stuff.
Yeah.
Because people be having like deadlines and stuff.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be making sure that we have enough volunteers for the day. It'll be sorted by category.
Why don't we?
And that's why it's
like,
important she's here that week.
Make sure you have washed everything before you bring it. or
Yeah, it'll be in the rules of like, make sure it is in good condition. Like we are not looking for people to just dump their junk here. We are coordinating with Rumpke to have a dumpster for that weekend. So that'll be out here as well. So if it is something that as our volunteers are noticing, okay, this doesn't quite fit the bill for this type of event, it's going straight out to the dumpster. So we've got that piece covered. So,
That's
Makes
good.
sense.
So is that gonna be,
yeah. Cool. Okay.
You said let's start with the dumpster.
All right, so we've got that taken care of. I'm gonna go back to the agenda here. Okay, so the last thing under new business is the marketing consultant. I know we are coming up on the hour. We did get a little bit of a late start, so I'm gonna try to get us out of here by 8:15, if that's okay. We good? Good? Cool. Okay. I'm working quickly to get through. Okay, So marketing consultants. So there is a Gulf Manor resident whose work I know you have all seen. So Jacqueline Threadgill is a graphic design artist who is very, very widely talented. I just posted a graphic that she created for Pride t-shirts. We are marching in the Pride Parade with a Gulf Manor entry. She created a logo for us to use. We're gonna have t-shirts printed for those. So that is the type of artwork that she does. She also did the C75 logo that was sold on like coffee mugs and some other goods. So with all of this stuff, the biggest thing that we have talked about is marketing. How do we get the word out to people? And the thing that is taking the most time with getting this stuff out there is coming up with the artwork for it, or the graphic, or, you know, even for a newsletter or an email, that template. Like it takes somebody with that eye, and it is frankly a lot of work that we just don't have. Like we just don't have the bandwidth for. So I did speak with her about what it would look like to have her be a consultant, not just for we would probably monopolize her time, but also for other things like helping us, you know, kind of streamline our website a little bit more. Not so much the user interface, but like the graphics, so that we are tying a lot of these things together. And it would, if this is something that we can get past with the budget, that we are able to utilize her services this year, that will help us quite a bit to be able to get a lot of these things done that we are looking to do. Otherwise, it's just me and my little Canva Pro subscription that is, you know, doing a lot of overtime right now. But if anybody else knows, you know, if this is in your wheelhouse as well, I am all ears. But for right now, this is kind of the avenue that we're going down. So stay tuned.
I think cost is a factor,
Cost is definitely a factor.
because it's pulling from something else, and we're trying to raise money to do some of the things to bring community together. Cost is the biggest factor.
Yeah.
So if they're not affordable, we can't go down that road.
Yeah, and it's definitely, we're in that spot of like, we have to spend money to make money, kind of that approach a little bit. So it is trying to figure out what is feasible, what is reasonable, like, you know, maybe this for the remainder of this year until we get some money in savings, I guess, for the rec fund. You know, we're only utilizing, you know, maybe 10 hours of her time or 20 hours, whereas this might, you know, we might be able to use more of her hours in upcoming years as we build momentum and things.
Yeah, could you work with her as far as like, because the part of it is that it would be, she'd be making logos for things we'd be selling, like t-shirts, mugs, other things with logos on it. And all these things can be sold at all our events or available to sell. And eventually, I mean, it'd be great if you could take it to the next level and people can order through the website or the app items that we have for sale. And maybe she takes like 10% of the cut of everything that's sold. And that's a way that we don't have to pay her up front. She just gets part of all this, all the sales.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Yeah, and I think
That's quite a bit of work though. I mean, that's some serious work. She's a
Yeah.
professional, she's probably gonna want.
I think once she creates the logos, we have them. You don't have to keep recreating them.
Right.
So you're paying her for the logos that she's creating, and then you just move on. Next year, if she's making them this year and she's getting paid for it, she won't need to make them next year. We can do a color change.
She makes adjustments to them, and we're, instead of
Yeah,
paying for
you're not
5 hours, we're paying for 20
But
minutes.
that does inspire her to market really well.
No, but when
Yeah.
when you said you also wanted someone to do all the graphics or something?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so the list is long.
Because for every event, we can have Pride shirts, we can have Juneteenth shirts, we can have, for any, for doing a 4th of July, if we're doing a Halloween event, whatever.
Yeah.
The logo can be part of the other logo of that event.
Yeah. And again, as like you're saying, and like Phyllis is saying too, like, again, this just seems to be the theme for these committees right now, is that we are doing a lot of work to set these things up now, but hopefully the goal is that we are just, okay, it is coming up in October, let's get ready to do our trick or treat, and or whatever. okay, let's get out that logo, let's refresh it, let's slap the new dates on there, and, maybe do a couple of touch-ups, and then we move on. And then we've got her, focused on doing other things for us to where it's building.
So are you thinking website-wise for like a monthly update? Are you thinking just to refresh and revamp the website, like a one-time deal, or just kind of like an ongoing?
It'll be, for the time being, it's going to be ongoing. The website needs a lot of work, more so than what we are asking for her to do. Like, that is kind of separate from the scope of what this proposal is, to have her come on board as a consultant. Because the website does need a user UX survey done on it, and we need that feedback to figure out how to make it more user friendly. But like, where we can like put some Band-Aids on it is having those graphics that, okay, we have a community engagement graphic, and that is, you will recognize that because we have it on a banner at the tables that we've got at all of our events. And it's on the website, and so you know that you're in the right spot because that recognition. So trying to, again, these are Band-Aids to a much larger thing that we have to, put some time and effort into, but this is a much more affordable option than doing a website overhaul for right now. So, okay, Juneteenth.
Oh, no, I thought that was gonna take up the majority of it. I'll keep it quick. You mind passing me the ball?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, just to share the screen. Does it reach this far? Do I have to come to you?
I can push your desk.
I can see
Yes,
it.
no, I got
We
you.
got some.
I got you.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
It was just stuck on the table like over here. All right.
Okay, so, since our last meeting a month ago, I have made it a point to email once a week, the updates. And so this is the latest update. I will not be updating everybody on everything that happened, in the last month. But, let's see, I won't even touch on all of these. So I put out some wildfires this weekend. Basically, all our food vendors, I required them to pull a temporary permit. Even if they have a brick and mortar, apparently they are required to have a temporary permit.
Oh, wow.
This means the boys, the food, like the health inspectors will be here around 3:00, an hour before the event, inspecting everybody. They cannot serve food until they pass that inspection. So they had some kind of weird requirements to pass this inspection. Jim put off and his maintenance crew did a really good job of adapting. They're going to take care of that. Like, basically one of the requirements, you can't serve food on grass. It has to be on concrete. Like, oh, okay. So they're going to move all the patio furniture, like get to the patio.
You can walk on the grass and eat it, but you can't.
Yeah, that
sell
you
it.
can't, what is the word I'm
It's a
using?
bugs.
Um,
That's why they do it.
But
They're on concrete.
Get prepared.
You can't prepare and serve. So you have to receive it. Now, after it's out of your hands, then you can go onto the grass. I thought that was more of a trip hazard. But another more important one too, this, get asked for help from you guys. They have to have portable sinks that run hot water. Now, the bare minimum requirement is literally a cooler that you put hot water in it that has a spigot and a basin at the bottom to collect the wastewater. But I actually bought two. They should be from Amazon tomorrow in the mail. One of the vendors has agreed to buy one off of me, but I'll have another one. I mean, it'll be mine, but I'll basically loan it to the village because it'll probably be useful to have an outdoor sink that catches wastewater for everybody to use given all these events coming up. But if anybody happens to have a portable sink, Jim Put Off is they have one. I don't know if they're garden.
Where will you get the hot water?
No, it's right there by the bathroom.
Oh, is it?
The concession stand, we'll hook them up to the concession stand. And again, but the inspector, they just gotta pass this test for like 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes.
That's just weird.
It's a money grab, I know.
I've been to a lot of places. It's Juneteenth and Eden Park, they are on grass.
Yeah,
Their food
and I
is
see, I
not
think those
on
events are
concrete.
taken care of by
It's
some, I don't know.
They
So,
smooth
but if
the
anybody has a
tickets,
cooler with a spigot or a basin, if they're willing to loan, that might be helpful. Let's see, also purchase the tickets and the wristbands. That's something we needed. Ice is on the way, so thanks Captain Reed for that. Beer, I'm still waiting on that quote. I've been asking them for it for about a week
Beer
now.
from whom?
Humble Monk is who we're working with.
And, did we get a follow-up for the CO2?
Not yet.
Okay, so we're working on that. So these are quotes that we need so we can, submit requisition requests to get money for all that. Flyers done, thanks Rob. So Jacqueline Threadgill, which you talking about, and Rob are married. So those are our local artists.
Very artistic family. I'm
Very,
so
yeah,
jealous.
they got all the talent there. So, if you guys see the flyers on Facebook, share it. It's already happened to get me some more vendors. We also got a $30 donation. Let's see, as of earlier today, we have 29 registered vendors, $525 collected, including the $260+ that we earned last year and this $30 donation. So now we have over $800 for Juneteenth. So that is what goes to beer, the CO, the ice. So those are the things that we have to pay for this year. So we're talking, we have over $800 for $300 or $400 event.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much the cost of WeTHRIVE as far as providing like the beer and ice?
That's what I'm saying. That's only through. So beer is quoted about $250, and we're expected to make money off of that.
Oh, and that money goes back into the village.
Correct.
Yeah.
Ice
And
is
that's not-
$50, and CO might be $14.
Yeah,
So it's literally a $300 event, and we already have over
We're already at
$800.
And that's
And
not
then the liquor
including-
license is $500, and that for whole, I think that was, why does I ever say that? I don't really know, but that's for like months, so that covers more than one event.
Right,
So
and we're gonna
Juneteenth
do all,
paid for all of that.
right, we're gonna do events
Or
to get some money
eventually try
back.
to recover all
Yeah.
of that, yeah.
So-
I will say, the reason why it happens to be this way, if you guys ever meet Dave Williker from the circus, he is providing entertainment. So all that money we've historically made was to break even. We charge vendors to pay for entertainment, to try to draw in people to support the vendors. So it's all been one big circle, but it helped this year because we had somebody who essentially sponsored all of our entertainment. So you make sure you guys thank him. I've never met him. I need to know his size so I can at least buy him a t-shirt or
Yeah.
something. But that's the same guy who donated all the bikes too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
So
a-
he's
Let's
helped
make
us
sure
a
we
lot.
give him a shout out in the middle of June.
Absolutely, I always
Yeah.
give announcements and who
Maybe
we
he needs to
partner
be a
with.
grand marshal.
I
You
mean,
know what?
we might
could
get
get a
the
little
circus,
plaque
we
or
could get the
something.
circus to do it. Why not? I don't think we've ever invited. I've never seen him in there. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen him in the circus?
I don't,
In the
I
parade?
have no
before?
idea. So
Um,
anyway,
and
yeah.
so just as good as news too. So I've always had like one or two vendors, a possible, whatever. We have like solid vendors at this food, specifically food, excuse me. So I'm always like one in a possible, like I got some verbal commitments and, we have 5 food vendors. 3 or 4 of them have indicated they have like done what they need to do to get their food permits. So I consider those like, they're no longer possible. So they went out their way to get these food permits. So we have a food truck that's coming. So I told them I can't promise them anything. They said, okay, so they're doing fried fish. We have our hot dog ladies, so they do Mets and Conies and all that. And we have the neighbors, if you guys are on Facebook, the Puerto Rican neighbors that serve the Puerto Rican food. So that would be another food vendor. I think she calls them split. So basically skewers is the idea. So Puerto Rican food. And then we have Antoinette, a neighbor who helped to do this all with me last year. Her daughter needs to fundraise for like a school trip. And she's like, are you gonna go out and make this money? So she's gonna have like a lemonade stand and sell snacks, but she had to pull a permit. Apparently, to sell lemonade from your house, you don't need a permit, but to sell it,
Yes.
Yeah.
you need to sell it. So she had to go get a permit for her little lemonade stand. And we have maybe one, Allison, who says she'll do pretzels, but I haven't really heard anything from her. I need to talk to her about a permit, so that might be a barrier for her. But I think we got, water ice. So
Yeah.
it's like a Philadelphia style dessert or something. She said she would pull a permit. I haven't heard that she did yet. So, but we got solid food and I'm hoping dessert and snacks.
Did we talk to Demetrios that's right here?
I have not talked to her.
That sounds like you have enough vendors.
Yeah, I'm cutting food off.
Food is-
Basically, once we get that
I
food
mean, the
truck.
only thing you might not have is like enough dessert, but.
Yeah, and I told
That's easy
Antoinette to
to-
get
that's easy to
snacks,
get.
and I was like, because I think she's gonna do like chips and her lemonade, I said, get some cookies.
Cookies.
too.
So we are using kind of Juneteenth as our like case study for all of the events that we're doing moving forward. So all of this work that Mel has been doing which is much appreciated, on the health department and the food licenses and all of that. Our ultimate goal is to kind of debrief from Juneteenth and have like an event in a box. Like it is a checklist. Like, okay, we want to put on an event regardless of the size, but we have gone through and we have everything listed of, okay, these are the things we need to make sure that it is legally compliant, ethically compliant, all of that, and that we're not forgetting things.
And now, one benefit of a food truck, they come with not a liquor license, a food license. They don't have to pull a temporary food vendor's license. They have a mobile license that goes with them everywhere. So if you can find a food truck that doesn't have a minimum requirement and they're out there, you don't have to pull a permit with them. They come with one, essentially.
Well, if you guys wanna print flyers for this event, I'll put one at every house.
Oh, okay.
If you want you guys to print it. I don't know if you guys-
You're new here. Well, that's a big
No, I go walking every day.
Oh,
I walk-
okay.
I walk as a
Yeah.
You haven't been on St. Albans.
Yeah.
St. Albans,
No, that's
Canterbury,
awesome.
Green
That's
Vine.
awesome. We'll
Yo,
get, we can get
you
some
are
flyers
more
on
than
there for
welcome.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll take care of Grayson.
all
Okay.
right.
Because that's always been, I'll do St.
It only
We can
takes
do a
about-
follow-up, we'll do a follow-up,
she'll do-
to kind of coordinate.
You'll
Yeah,
have to
uh-huh.
do your own
Yeah.
street.
We only got one side.
Listen,
No,
when
I
we
mean,
do
I
those,
walk
it takes a
every day,
week
so-
to get like
I
10
wouldn't do it
people.
all in one day, I'd do
No,
it within like 4 days. but
Yeah,
I would
that's
do like
I'm still ambitious.
break up the neighborhood into 4 parts
Hey,
and stuff.
that is
I'm
really
not
nice.
discouraging, yes.
All right, so you can keep the cord for right now. I'm gonna move on. Any other updates from Juneteenth?
Yes and no. So basically some action items. So help again with cooler and basin, if you have one. We have a playlist and we have speakers to play it on. If anybody has an old cell phone that they will not miss, that we can hook up, or any other device to play this set list on, we need that. I do have an old one. I don't know how good the battery is. So we have like a potential backup, but I'm hoping something more reliable.
We might have a couple extra.
Yeah, so
DJ?
we have a DJ who supplied the playlist. So, because basically what happened is when historically we've only had enough money either for a DJ or entertainment.
Okay.
And so I reached out to the circus to support them because they've always done, just like they're doing now, they've been very helpful. So I reached out and said, hey, do you have speakers like to rent to us and also a performer for us? And I said, we can only afford, like, we basically can afford one or the other essentially, or however I worded, like a DJ who would come with a speaker or a performer, a circus performer. And he was like, I'll take care of both of them. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, all you need is a phone to hook it up. So I reached out to the DJ, who would have been the other option, to ask for her set list, or a set list, which is what we did last year. She supplied it. So we will have music ongoing the whole time. She lives on Greenmont. It's one of
So
our
you need a
neighbors.
phone?
Huh?
You just need a phone?
All I need is a phone and play.
I have another iPhone that you
Yeah,
can use.
it's like Wi-Fi and can play, just hook it up.
I pay for it, so
Yeah,
you can use
yeah.
it.
Well, I don't want to use it. I'm going to be texting and getting calls and stuff all day, so I can't just.
Yeah, no, use mine, just put it on Do Not
People
Disturb and you're
trying to
good.
contact
Yeah,
me the
you
whole
just said
time.
do not disturb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can use my
But I
second.
mean, okay.
Yeah, literally.
And then, well, when the music goes out, we know somebody took your phone. Basically, I will.
I gotta find my iPhone.
All right, I want to move on in the interest of time.
We got raffle baskets, but we need volunteers. Like somebody to help pick up ice.
There is a Sign Up Genius link in the event online on Facebook. We can also send that out to the group we'll put it in the minutes as well. But we'll do a follow-up email since we have so many people here tonight, which is so lovely and I love it. Because there are a couple of things that we're just not going to get to on the agenda, but are more just FYI things for the moment, with more information to come that we'll discuss in July. But I want to make sure that we get out of here at a reasonable hour.
So for the ice, I mean, if people are picking it up, how do they pay for it and get reimbursed? Or how-
Yeah, so I already put in a requisition request. So I have the quote and all that. And when they give me a check, I'll give the check to whomever volunteering to go pick it up. And it's out in Springdale / Forest Park. What is it called? Home City Ice. So it's 20-pound bags. And just get it the day of the event and bring it back.
Okay, I'll look on the sign up list.
Okay, thank
You
you.
need a van for that.
20 bags?
Or a truck.
20 bags for.
It's just a.
All right.
These are pretty big, aren't they? That's
You
a
could also
5
use
pound.
the.
20 is like this, this is 5.
Oh, we might be.
All right, I am gonna move on. We can figure out the size of a 20-pound bag of ice, later. But we are gonna, so we'll figure out that, a little bit later. So I'm gonna breeze through the rest of these. I will provide summaries of them, because I don't wanna super shortcut anything. So beautification, so Alan is not here this evening, but he's been doing some amazing work. If you do not already, please follow him on Instagram, Big Al, the Garden Pal. It will brighten your day. It is a freaking delight, and I love it so much. But he's working in the community garden. He worked to get all of it weeded. He's got some really cool ideas for getting it set up. Probably too late to start planting for this year, but getting the bed set up so that we can truly have a wonderful community garden, that we're getting a jump start on it for next year. We're also looking at perhaps scheduling a cleanup day for at some point throughout the summer. Maybe lumping it in with the Buy Nothing event for dumpster access. But we'll kind of see what the volunteer aspect looks like, and we'll kind of come back to that a little bit later. Another cool idea is talking about having some beehives, like some Gulf Manor honey. How cool would that be? So looking into some of what the ordinances are and what that potentially looks like. So
We'll make our own honey.
yeah, we have some beehives, make some honey. Why not?
I love
So, honey.
Isn't that a cool idea? Like, I love it.
And the kids
Yep.
I'm not gonna yuck somebody's yum. All right, so
They have those kids on sale at Aldi's, by the way.
You say
Yeah.
kids?
Kids.
Oh.
the last things that I
Okay,
have
thanks, Ms.
are WeTHRIVE. So there is a learning collaborative next Tuesday at 5:30 where Gwen and Pat and I are presenting on the impact that WeTHRIVE has had on Gulf Manor and how we utilize the resources with WeTHRIVE. Anything I'm missing off of that?
When is that?
That is next Tuesday at 5:30 at,
Green Township Senior Center.
correct.
Oh, Green Township.
I will include that in the minutes as well so that we can attend if we want. Any other WeTHRIVE updates?
We just completed the community portion of the assessment, so next meeting I will come back with a list of recommendations and see where we would like to move forward with the WeTHRIVE aspect of it. Currently, we do a lot of programming, whether we want to continue that, change it. There's lots that we can talk about, I'll have something for everyone next week. And then I'm also working on a landscape review, which is essentially a lot of online searching, some visual reviews. So if you see me out and about walking around the community, don't worry. Talk to me if you want to, just ignore me, I don't care. But I'm just kind of getting to know Gulf Manor better for myself.
Awesome. And then the other things on here, so for the Recreation Committee, we did have a working session for framework, trying to figure out like how to develop it. I will send that email out again. Please let me know if you have any questions on it, if you want to meet on it, I'm around, just so we can figure out like how we want to set this up and we have something to propose to council. And then fundraising opportunities, I'll include that in a summary email. We have a couple of, it's again, focused around alcohol because that's where money is apparently. But we have some opportunities kind of like with, like manning a beer booth at like Oktoberfest or at Riverfest or things like that, where we get a stipend for staffing it, but then we also get to keep the tips that we earn. So those are some opportunities for a large cash infusion into our rec fund. So stay tuned it's just volunteer opportunities. So stay tuned for more information on that. And that is all I have. The next community engagement meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, July 10th at 6 p.m. Phyllis stepped away.
Oh, no.
Wait.
1, 2, 3. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Thank goodness. Okay, all right.
To me, and I made sure I came.
No, we need you here still.
Yeah.
We need that overlap. So, I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and then all in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much for being
Notes
here.
from tonight.
I will send out minutes. I will compile all of the notes. be in the live stream here. But yes, I will.
Oh, no, it
Sorry,
was
one more
completely
question,
unrelated.
Charlotte.